In an epic, fantasy-fueled adventure, a new evil has risen, and the safety of the universe is at stake. Come backstage for an exclusive journey into the making of magical CBBC drama, Spirit Warriors.
Action!
Find out how 5 modern-day children became brave new spirit warriors, transported to an ancient spirit world to fight the greatest battle in the universe.
We're supposed to be on a school trip.
In a behind-the-scenes exclusive, uncover the filmmakers' secrets and see how the warriors got their superpowers. Discover how this empty studio became an ancient Chinese spirit world, and find out how these men became an entire tribe of monkeys. This is Spirit Warriors Backstage. Spirit Warriors gave us a fantasy-fueled adventure complete with dragons, baddies and magic.
What happened? I don't know. You okay?
But creating a drama like this doesn't happen overnight. It takes months of preparation and a big team to bring the script to life. Every tiny detail has to be thought of. Cast, costumes, set, stunts, makeup, martial arts, choreography, CGI, props and special effects. But where did the idea for this fantastical story come from?
This show really started inside the brain of a fantastic new young writer called Joe Ho.
So my earliest and nicest memories were every time I was alone with my grandma, she'd sit outside in her balcony and she'd tell me all these amazing sort of fantasy tales, and there'd be action and there'd be romance, and then suddenly there'd probably be monsters in there as well. And I think that's where my actual early inspiration came from, really. All these lovely, fantastical stories that my grandma used to tell me.
In Joe's magical tale, the Spirit Warriors have a big battle on their hands.
The big villain, the big opponent, is Li. He's evil with a capital E.
They have to find these 12 spirit pieces before evil Li and his servant Hwang does.
They don't really have a choice, like it's not optional, like they just have to get on with it, otherwise they're not going home. It's simple as that.
If the Spirit Warriors are going to stand a chance of saving the spirit pieces from Li, they're going to need some supernatural help. Up against some seriously scary villains, it's lucky they soon discover a trick or two of their own.
Each of them finds their own spirit power.
What's your guessing tricks?
All kids and grown-ups, me included, want to have a superpower, and it's not very fair if these 5 spirit warriors go into a spirit world and everybody else knows martial arts and everybody else can do stuff. It's like they haven't got much hope if they don't have superpowers.
Bo is the main leader of the 5. She's like the chosen warrior who has, in my opinion, the best power.
In Chinese culture, qi is an internal energy that exists within us all. But Bo can use her qi in spectacular ways.
Bo's power is the ability to extend her qi in her body into a tangible thing which she can use to pick things up, throw things away, blow things up.
A power like that comes in handy when you've got to save the world. But actress Jessica had to make her qi look like a real and believable power. Tricky when it's something you can't even see. On hand to help is choreographer and martial arts expert Jude Poyer.
Just imagine the balls here, and then, push against it, and then, release it.
The ball is basically an exercise so that I get used to imagining my chi as a sphere. Because chi is something that you can't actually see, it really helps using the ball so that I can just focus on a physical object.
So the mat will be about here.
On set, Jessica gets to put her newly acquired chi skills into action.
Okay, so now we're going to do destruction of Shadow Warrior here.
Good day. 462, take 1, A and B, come on board.
And action.
Those exercises that I just really came in handy because Bo actually starts to form chi like a ball, so it really helped that I'd practiced that before.
With bow firing chi left, right and centre, the visual effects team had to create a power we could actually see.
We've got a little example here where we have Bo preparing to try and break a door down. And the first thing we decided to do was to add this little explosion that goes across the screen. And you can see that the screen has a kind of a shudder as the impact occurs. You can just see it warping. The next thing that we have to do is to do a motion track, and you can see that they track the movement, and then as they're ready to be thrown, they run off screen. We then use that information to tell the chi energy where to emit from, and then the final version of that looks like this.
As the one true warrior, Bo's spirit power doesn't stop there. In fact, she discovers she can do crazy jumps, leap into the air, and even climb the rooftops. To jump and kick convincingly, Jessica had some more training to do. Jude had just 4 weeks to teach Jessica the art of wushu, a ballet-style form of martial art that can take years to master.
When people study it in China, they might spend several months just working on the look in the eyes. We're having to work on the kicks and the jumps and the poses and the eyes all in a very short space of time. Yeah.
There's a whole new range of muscles that I've never even flexed before.
Step forward.
The most difficult thing about wushu is probably the legs flexibility. I'm getting better, apparently. It is hard. I actually thought it would be a lot easier than it was. How very wrong I was.
Helping to turn Jessica's martial arts moves into superhero moves was visual effects master Mike Connolly.
We had this shot, or this little sequence in episode 2 where Bo had to escape from the Nian, and she had to jump over them. They were blocking our way to the portal door.
So what they'll do is they'll film me jumping off a trampoline and film me landing, and then the CG guys will make my body fly 10 feet in the air.
This, for example, is the first shot. So here's Bo jumping on a trampoline.
Action.
And then we shot the Nian. So it's like, guys, and I want you to imagine that Bo's going to jump between you and you need to avoid her. We then shot Bo jumping off a box. And in jumping off the box, she gives us the landing we need.
Action!
And so all I have to do now, you see, is to cut her out from the first bit and cut her out from the back bit and join the two in the middle.
With these 3 shots stitched together, and some plants and trees added into the foreground, the shot was complete. Armed with their new powers, the young warriors are ready to fight and retrieve the ancient relics everyone's after.
There's 12 spirit pieces, and they each represent the 12 animals in the Chinese New Year.
In the beginning, we don't realise how valuable they are.
Looks like a green rat.
It is a spirit piece.
They are extremely powerful, and they can be used for either good or bad.
In the wrong hands, it is a source of great danger.
Lee's goal is always to get the 12 pieces.
Should we let them keep the spirit piece, or shall we take it from them?
He knows that if he can get them, he will then be crowned the king of everything, of all worlds.
And when all the pieces are united, I shall rule the spirit world.
With the spirit pieces standing between good and evil, production designer Catherine Meredith had to make sure the props looked the part.
These are all the zodiac animals, which are the year of the ox, year of the dragon. We wanted them to seem quite precious, so we decided to make them out of a kind of clear resin so the light could come behind them.
To make the spirit pieces look like carved pieces of precious jade, the shapes were sculpted in clay to make a mould full of detail. Then set in coloured resin to create the finished animal pieces.
That's it!
Lee can't wait to get his hands on the real thing, with a giant spinning matrix awaiting